So guys, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, it just so happens that I'm in the mood to talk about Gremlins, which, you could say is about all the time. But with the original Gremlins and its sequel, there's so much to talk about. The first movie alone, for example, we could talk about the read-along records that were released by Hardee's to promote the film's release in 1984. Or we could talk about the various home video releases, including Gremlins on Laserdisc. But this time I'm going to talk about one of my favorite Easter eggs from Gremlins. So this Fangoria magazine is actually hidden away in one of the scenes in the original Gremlins. You'll see it on the floor of Billy's room when the cocoons begin to hatch and Gizmo's hiding away. Now, this particular Fangoria magazine does include an image from Twilight Zone the movie, which Joe Dante worked on, though the segment featured on this cover was directed by George Miller, titled Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, and it was an adaptation or remake of the segment of the same name from the original Twilight Zone TV series. So what's interesting about Nightmare at 20,000 Feet is that it actually revolves around a gremlin terrorizing a airplane flight with William Shatner in the original TV series and John Lithgow in the 1983 remake. Because as it just so happens, gremlins are a mythological creature and they were popularized during World War II, in which British pilots claim that they saw little monsters hijacking their planes or causing malfunctions and doing things that resulted in engine failure, all kinds of little things. And some of this was incorporated into Gremlins. We have Murray Futterman, a World War II vet in the film, played by the great and legendary Dick Miller, and he references World War II and how these little gremlins were on their planes, and now they send them over in their watches and their technology. And it's a great little monologue, but something that no one really believes, because why would you? So what's interesting about this Easter egg is it's actually quite layered. Yes, you have the magazine referencing the gremlin from Twilight Zone the movie, but as mentioned, Joe Dante also worked on that movie, and that's when he first collaborated with composer Jerry Goldsmith. Jerry Goldsmith famously did the score for Gremlins, and it became one of the most identifiable parts of the movie. And if you go back to Twilight Zone the movie, he also scored the Nightmare at 20,000 Feet segment, including the scenes with the gremlin. And it's a very tremendous score, very well done, very creepy and suspenseful, and you can hear little notes of it incorporated into the score in Gremlins. So Jerry Goldsmith was paying homage to his own work and the sort of legacy of Gremlins that were featured in pop culture at the time. And so that about sums up my favorite little Easter egg from Gremlins. Unfortunately, neither of the movies were able to portray gremlins actually attacking planes, which I think is a missed opportunity, and I hope either through the TV show that may or may not be canceled or the upcoming Gremlins 3, we might actually get to see some of that unfold, because it's a ripe playground for gremlins to cause a little mayhem, and I think it would be so cool to see the original sort of window gremlin jump scare recreated with one of Joe Dante's gremlins instead of the ones from the Twilight Zone. And it also goes to show just how clever an Easter egg can be in Gremlins. Again, both movies are full of Easter eggs. Some of them are very unsubtle, and others are super subtle that have taken me decades of reviewing the movies to finally catch. And this is one that is kind of obvious once you realize what the magazine on the floor is supposed to be, but still just such a fun little reference to what's come before Gremlins. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and talking about Gremlins with me for the day. Obviously, in the beginning, I showed a few items like the Laserdisc and the Hardee's read-along records and books, and I would definitely love to talk about those too in a future video. So if you would like to see that, please let me know in the comments section down below. Or would you like to see me talk about more Easter eggs from Gremlins 1 or 2? There's a lot of fun little gems to talk about, and I would be more than happy to cover them in different videos. So please subscribe and like and comment and do all those fun little things, and I'll be able to keep doing more videos for you guys in the future. So stay tuned, and as always, obey the brain.